The following article includes mention of substance abuse and child abuse. Music legend DMX died on April 9, 2021, as reported by Variety. Best known for her Indian meets American cuisine, Food Network celebrity chef Aarti Sequeira rose to fame as the winner of the network's sixth season of Food Network Star, and has only been growing in popularity and has since won Chopped All-Stars, Cutthroat Kitchen All-Stars, and Guy's Grocery Games. A former journalist and author, she has hosted her own TV shows, Aarti Party, and Hidden Eats, and penned her own cookbook, Aarti Party, An American Kitchen with an Indian Soul, via Sequeira's website. He was placed on life support after suffering a heart attack that was said to be the result of an unconfirmed drug overdose. The rapper, whose real name is Earl Simmons, was rushed to the hospital after collapsing at home on April 2, 2021, his rep told TMZ. X's lawyer, Murray Richman, didn't comment on what led to his heart attack, but told NBC News, "Earl is a sweet guy," adding, "Earl was a person who could tell such a story." Sequeira began her foray into the cooking world in 2009 with her YouTube series, Aarti Party, in which she instructed viewers how to recreate her original recipes for dishes like baba ganoush, kale frittata, and her mother's own lentils. Today, Sequeira enjoys a flourishing career as a chef and television personality. Her net worth is estimated to be about $1 million, via married divorce. But she is also a grounded individual, valuing her family life, her faith, and her heritage. Aarti Sequeira's cooking style was inspired by her childhood. Aarti Sequeira was born in Bombay, India before her family moved to Dubai where she grew up. He was a person with such depth. She counts her father's outings to buy fish and produce as well as enjoying her mother's cooking among some of her most prominent memories, via eMinutes blog. It's a heartbreaker. DMX previously opened up about his struggles with addiction and other hardships in his life, including a staggering rap sheet and a truly gut-wrenching tale of what set him on a path of self-destruction at a very early age. In spite of it all, the multi-platinum selling star endeared himself to millions over his career that spanned more than 2 decades. As she notes on her website, family meals often included dishes like curries, flatbreads, and shawarmas. As we also mourn the death of the hip-hop icon, let's revisit the troubled times and tragic details about DMX's life. The initial reports of DMX's condition sounded dire shortly after TMZ broke the news that DMX was rushed to White Plains Hospital in Westchester, NY. We learned he was in the critical care unit after paramedics tried to resuscitate him for 30 minutes, according to a family member. However, he was deprived of oxygen during that time and doctors informed his family the lack of oxygen severely impacted X's brain. The artist was said to have some brain activity after arriving at the hospital, but another source told the outlet he was in a vegetative state, as doctors prepare his family for the worst. Sequeira's cooking has also been influenced by Catholicism, as she was raised in a traditionally religious family. After moving to the United States and a brief career in journalism, Sequeira returned to her roots and love of food, attending the New School of Cooking from which she graduated with a professional cooking certificate. Soon after, her online cooking show, Aarti Party, debuted on YouTube. Her cooking career blossomed over the years, eventually leading to a Food Network show, Aarti Party. On the show, Sequeira draws from influences of the Indian cuisine she grew up with and combines them with American-style recipes, resulting in dishes that are creative twists on classic favorites. "It's not looking good," an additional source revealed. Despite the dire prognosis, the rapper's representative told TMZ at the time, "Earl has been a warrior his entire life." Aarti Party was cancelled after 3 seasons, per wannabe TV chef, but Sequeira has continued to appear on Food Network and the Cooking Channel, from hosting food-themed travel shows to judging cooking competitions. Aarti Sequeira first had a career in journalism after growing up in Dubai and experiencing the First Gulf War. Sequeira was inspired to work toward a journalism degree. This situation represents yet another road he must conquer. Unfortunately, hope was dashed days later when the star's representative stated, via Variety, that the family was deeply saddened to announce X's death at age 50, saying he fought till the very end. DMX underwent brain function tests prior to his death. Almost a week after he was admitted to hospital, DMX underwent a series of brain function tests to ascertain whether or not there was any brain activity. According to her website, she moved to the United States where she attended the Medill School of Journalism at Northwestern University in Chicago. Sadly, the results showed little improvement on DMX's condition. Following graduation, she snagged a job at CNN where she reported on a range of topics, including 9/11. TMZ reported that the battery of tests performed on Wednesday showed no improvement in brain activity since he was rushed to the hospital. Sequeira remained passionate about world events and produced Sand and Sorrow, a documentary that aired on HBO covering the Darfur genocide. But around the age of 25, Sequeira found herself antsy and dissatisfied in her journalism career. I realized that the passion for journalism had died out in my heart. It was very hard for me, because it felt like my very identity had vanished, she told Women Working. Sequeira moved to New York where she tried her hand at an acting career, but eventually started cooking more and fell in love with the craft. But Sequeira's experience in TV journalism proved useful when she began filming her own YouTube cooking show with the help of her husband, actor Brendan McNamara. He had little brain function after being deprived of oxygen for nearly half an hour. The rapper remained in a coma following an alleged overdose and heart attack, and DMX's family was faced with some difficult decisions regarding his care. Per NBC News, DMX's manager, Steve Rifkind, said in a statement prior to the tests, DMX is currently on life support and in a coma. There are multiple people with inaccurate information about his well-being and it is not helpful and productive. As her website notes, it was McNamara who eventually suggested Sequeira audition for Food Network star, who instantly saw her talent. The chef is committed to her family. Aarti Sequeira may be a famous chef and TV personality with a booming career, however, it's perhaps her family that's most important to her. Sequeira married her husband Brendan McNamara in 2003 and the couple have 2 daughters together, Aliyah and Moses, via married divorce. Judging by what Sequeira posted on Instagram for husband's birthday, her and McNamara are still clearly very much in love. From the second I met you, I couldn't get you off my mind. Tomorrow he will undergo further tests on his brain function and his family will determine what's best from there. He continued, we appreciate your prayers and support. DMX was prematurely reported dead on April 9. XXL confirmed the tragic news that DMX had passed away at the age of 50 that morning. Prior to his death, however, multiple media outlets falsely reported that DMX had died. Daily Star reported that "Rip DMX" began trending on Twitter after the rapper's friend, comedian Lunel, mistakenly posted on her Instagram stories, "It is over. From your intelligence, to your humor to your kind eyes. My friend is gone. Soar with the birds. Join the best that ever did it. To the way you clearly didn't care, too much, what people thought of you. Rip. All those things keep me stuck to you like a paperclip to a magnet all these many birthdays later," she wrote. Sequeira has also written about the pride she has for her daughters. Raising 2 daughters, I get to see the full spectrum of sisterhood, love, support, rivalry, jealousy, anger, joy. DMX. Per the publication, Lunel later apologized for the post which appeared to declare DMX's death early, and she posted, "When your spirit leaves and your organs fail you, the body becomes just a shell. ... And my happiest moment is when they share selflessly, and cheer each other on through hard things," she posted on Facebook in 2018. Aarti Sequeira struggled with postpartum depression after giving birth. Sequeira suffered from postpartum depression. One becomes wrapped in the Lord's arms. In an interview with Women Working, she spoke about her struggles, citing societal expectations of being a mother and stigma surrounding postpartum depression as factors in her experience. New mothers are fed all kinds of expectations, that you will be the perfect picture of joy, that your maternal instinct will kick in and you'll know exactly what to do, that you and your baby will bond instantly, she said. None of this was true for me. And so I felt like a freak. Sequeira said it was her husband's support that helped her through this difficult time, and she has since become an outspoken advocate for fighting postpartum depression and encouraging women to seek help with their own battles. I would tell other women that if, after the first week or so of baby blues, you're still feeling the shadows closing in on yourself, talk to your family. That what I call gone. I'm sorry to all. ... This is not going to last forever. Aarti Sequeira is a woman of faith since being raised in an Indian Catholic home. Aarti Sequeira's faith has remained an important component in her life, via eMinutes blog. #DMX.
DMX's manager, Steve Rifkind, denied the premature reports of the rapper's death. Sadly, on April 9, DMX's death was confirmed, and his team said in a statement, "He loved his family with all of his heart and we cherish the times we spent with him." There was a prayer vigil for DMX outside the hospital in the days leading up to DMX's tragic death. Friends, family, and fans gathered to pray for his recovery during a prayer vigil outside of White Plains Hospital on April 5, 2021. According to photos obtained by TMZ, his fiancée, Desiree Lindstrom, joined fans outside of the hospital, along with his ex-wife Tashira Simmons, and fellow baby mama Yadira Borrego. Some of his children joined in during the vigil, including his toddler-age son Exodus, whom he shares with his fiancée. She writes on her website, "When I reach the end of my days, all I want is to hear the Lord say, 'Well done, good and faithful servant.'" She is involved in an organization called Compassion International, which aims to help alleviate childhood poverty in Jesus' name, and uses her writing skills to encourage others on their religious journeys. Sequeira has also written on her website about the opportunity she and McNamara were given at her church to both baptize new members into their church on Easter and give a sermon, saying, "Bren and I just preached our very first sermon, together. What an incredible honor and thrill." Her website isn't the only place Sequeira writes about her faith. Desiree and the artist's mother, Arnett Simmons, were said to have been with DMX since he was admitted. Hospital workers also participated in the vigil as they were seen waving an X sign from a hospital window. In an article for Encourage, she humbly discussed her gratitude to God for her success. "God was the one who gave me this career, and He's the only one who can take it away. I was timid at first, but over the years, as my friendship with him has grown, so has my boldness," she wrote. Additionally, members of the Rough Riders motorcycle crew, a sort of fan club of the rapper's label, pulled up outside of the hospital to pay their respects during their own impromptu vigil on April 4. They were seen blasting his music and revving their engines in solidarity. DMX had a long history of drug abuse. Drug abuse has been a theme throughout DMX's life since he was given a laced blunt at the age of 14, he revealed on the People's Party with Talib Kweli in November 2020. He was previously hospitalized for a near-fatal drug overdose in 2016. According to Page 6, the rapper had no pulse and had stopped breathing in a parking lot outside of a Westchester, NY, hotel. He was given Narcan to reverse the effects of a heroin overdose, and became semi-conscious before receiving treatment at a nearby hospital. It appeared he was committed to his sobriety after he paused his 20th anniversary tour to check into rehab in October 2019. In his ongoing commitment to putting family and sobriety first, DMX has checked himself into a rehab facility, an Instagram announcement read at the time. He apologizes for his cancelled shows and thanks his fans for their continued support. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse and mental health, please contact SAMHSA's 24-hour national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP, 4357. The heartbreaking story of how DMX was introduced to hard drugs. It's already been mentioned that DMX was first introduced to hard drugs when he was just 14, but the story is worse than you might realize. During an interview for People's Party with Talib Kweli, DMX said of his introduction to drugs, "I didn't smoke cigarettes, I didn't smoke weed. I didn't do anything. We do a robbery one night. He came back with a blunt rolled up." DMX discussed what happened next, saying, "He passed the blunt around and I hit the blunt. I never felt like this, it ****ed me up. I later found out that he laced the blunt with crack." Understandably, the rapper got visibly emotional during the interview as he opened up about the painful memory. Even more heartbreaking was the fact that DMX was given the blunt by a mentor who was 30 years old at the time, while the rapper was just a teenager. "Why would you do that to a child? He was like 30, DMX told People's Party. And he knew I looked up to him. Why would you do that to somebody who looks up to you? If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse and mental health, please contact SAMHSA's 24-hour national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP, 4357. He was clean ahead of his hospital stay. DMX previously revealed he got clean as a way to deal with the things that hurt me, he shared on the People's Party with Talib Kweli in November 2020. He admitted he was once reluctant to speak out about his struggles with addiction, saying he saw it as a sign of weakness. However, he realized sharing his story is one of the bravest things you can do.
After his 2016 overdose, he said during a 2017 interview with Hip Hop DX that he wasn't using hard drugs anymore. "I think we kinda knew that was the problem. Of course, it was the problem," he said at the time. "I got in trouble and all that ***t. It's not worth it. I spent too much time doing things. It's just not worth it. More recently, he seemed to be optimistic for the future as he teased his upcoming album in February 2021 on NORE's Drink Champs podcast. He said a bunch of famous faces were set to make an appearance on his records, including Lil Wayne, Snoop Dogg, and U2's Bono. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse and mental health, please contact SAMHSA's 24-hour national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP, 4357. In addition to his drug use, life wasn't easy for DMX. Outside of DMX's struggles with drug abuse, the rapper had a complicated relationship with the law as well. In a 2019 interview with GQ, DMX revealed he was incarcerated at least 30 times for a variety of crimes such as resisting arrest, reckless driving, driving without a license, animal cruelty, drug possession, disorderly conduct, possession of a weapon, tax evasion, and failure to pay child support, per Medium. He's also had several financial issues. At the time of his death, DMX was even said to have an estimated net worth of $1 million. Those finance troubles led to his most recent conviction in 2018 after he was charged with 14 counts of tax fraud and sentenced to 1 year in prison. He was released from prison in January 2019. During his last stint in prison, he spent 90 days in solitary confinement, he told GQ. "If you don't got a strong mind, it'll FK you up," he said of his time in the hole. "I didn't get out of my cell at all. Only time will tell what fate holds for DMX." Physical abuse marred DMX's childhood as well as being introduced to hard drugs at a young age. DMX also experienced abuse at home. During his profile with GQ in 2019, DMX opened up about his relationship with his mother and explained, "I found out I just knew things that she didn't know when I was only 6 years old. I would get up at night sometimes to drink water because I was so hungry. And I saw something in her notebook that was open on the kitchen table. And it was wrong, so I erased it. I thought I was helping." However, according to DMX, his decision to erase her notes didn't go down well. "I don't know what she thought I was doing, but I don't know if she thought I was trying to sabotage her or whatever," he told GQ. "I don't know what she thought. But she beat 2 teeth out of my ***ing mouth with a broom. And I think about this today, I'm like, okay, you saw me erase something in your notebook. What did you think I was trying to do? What could you have possibly thought I was trying to do?" However, the rapper also defended his mom during the interview and said, "That doesn't mean I don't love her. That doesn't mean she's the same person." It seems that the rapper found forgiveness for his mother later in life. If you or someone you know may be the victim of child abuse, please contact the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline 24/7 at 1-800-4-A-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453, or contact their live chat services at www.childhelp.org/hotline. He lived in group homes as a teenager. DMX spent some time in children's homes. Per his AllMusic biography, a troubled and abusive childhood turned him violent, and he spent a great deal of time living in group homes and surviving on the streets via robbery, which led to several run-ins with the law. Following his success as a rapper, DMX later returned to visit one of the homes in Dobbs Ferry, New York, where he met with residents. It would seem that, despite leaving the home he shared with his mother where he allegedly faced abuse as a child, DMX still didn't have an easy childhood at all. During his court case for tax evasion in 2018, DMX's attorney Murray Richman told NBC News, his life experiences were horrible. "I've heard terrible tales, but I've never heard such horrible upbringing as this." Meanwhile, OKPlayer reported, a teenage DMX would wander the streets of Baltimore, and later New York City, befriending dogs and taking part in everything from robberies to drug dealing in order to make a living. X felt a particularly strong affinity with stray dogs. Animals cruelly forgotten by society, which must persevere in order to survive. DMX's 15 children visited him in the hospital. As a father of 15, DMX had a large family, and all of his children reportedly visited him in hospital. New York Post reported on April 6 that DMX was surrounded by many of his children, some of whom were spotted at a mass vigil outside the hospital, as they say their final goodbye to their dad. Understandably, DMX's kids wanted to be at their father's side while he remained in critical condition.
However, ongoing COVID-19 protocols at the hospital meant that limits regarding how many people are allowed to visit at a time are in place. Per New York Post, but with COVID-19 restrictions in place at the White Plains Medical Center, only one child can see their ailing father at a time. DMX often spoke of his large brood in interviews. Speaking to GQ in 2019, DMX discussed the Exodus tattoo on his neck and said, Exodus chapter 1 verse 7. It says, "Be fruitful and multiply and your children will inherit the world." The verse was particularly important to the rapper as he named his youngest son Exodus, and revealed, its new beginnings. Exodus speaks to beginnings. He was a new beginning. DMX's fiancée's latest Instagram videos show a happy family life. DMX was a father to the 15 children, the youngest of whom is 5 years old, as of this writing. DMX shared son Exodus with his fiancée Desiree Lindstrom, and the trio regularly appeared in Instagram videos together prior to the rapper's hospitalization. On March 31, days before he was admitted to hospital, Lindstrom shared a sweet video of DMX dancing and lip-syncing during a car journey, and said of her fiancé, "He too funny." Last month, Lindstrom shared a sweet snap taken with her man, which she captioned, "My fiancé. I love you." It seems that DMX had a happy family life prior to his heart attack, and Lindstrom remained at the rapper's side throughout his hospitalization. Per TMZ, sources revealed, X's fiancée, Desiree Lindstrom, and mom, Arnett Simmons, have been allowed into the ICU to visit DMX, though he is not responsive. With 5-year-old Exodus, and 14 other children, DMX had a large family, and they all reportedly supported him in hospital while he remained in a coma. While the happy memories shared on social media will likely comfort fans in the wake of the rapper's tragic death, they will also undoubtedly serve as a reminder of how this talented, caring man left the world far too soon.